If you're thinking about coming to Gilli T or to the Gillies, this video is going to be perfect for you because I'm going to give you a full rundown on how much everything costs, what the best beaches are, where you can go snorkeling, all you need to know about the different accommodation, the different areas of Gilli T, all the stuff that I wish I knew when we booked here. And you're going to get it all in this video right now. So this is our villa. As you can see, we have a private pool, this nice little courtyard area. On the left-hand side where those curtains are, that's one bedroom. In the middle is our living space, and on the right-hand side is our second bedroom. So this is obviously a two-bedroom villa, and it's halfway between the main center of town and Sunset Point. It cost us around 1,500 Australian dollars for a week over peak period of Christmas, just to give you a bit of an indication of prices. You don't necessarily have to get a villa. So a villa is great for us because we're two adults and one child. He's 16. He needs his own space. It's great for us to have our own room. And I think if it was just a couple, a hotel style room would be perfectly fine. And anywhere from, my tip is, from the main part of town where the boat comes in and arrives, right through around to Sunset Beach would be anywhere along that area would be absolutely perfect. On Sunset Beach, there's also a great hostel. So if you're single and you're on your own and you want that real party lifestyle, there's a great hostel there. There's also, if you're single and you're looking for sort of more of a boarding accommodation hostel or a small, hotel style room or a homestay perhaps, also the main part of town where the ferry lands is also a great location for you as well. Now, I'm going to take you a bit of a look around on what the main part of town is where the ferry comes in, and also take you around to Sunset Beach. Actually, I'm going to take you all around the island, all the different spots and the different locations so you can see for yourself. I'll also show you from the outside some of the different types of accommodation. So as you're looking online, I know what it's like when you're looking at photos and you're wondering, is this property better than the rest? What's the location like? What's the position? I can assure you anywhere from where the ferry arrives around to Sunset Beach is perfect, and it's not too far to walk. There's a beautiful path which you're about to see. You can also hire bikes and scooters. You can hop on the back of a little horse-drawn carriage as well. And I'm going to show you also the prices. So when you come here, you're going to have to negotiate. So give you a bit of an idea on what the good rates are. So when you can budget and you know exactly what you're looking to pay. Before we jump on the scooter and I take you on a tour around the island and show you all the different restaurants and hotels, I also wanted to let you know I'm gonna show you the great beaches and also the places where you can go snorkeling. So as a bit of a reference, just either side of where the jetty comes in, so one side is where the Irish bar is. That's a great spot. I'm going to show you that position. Snorkeling there is fantastic. You wouldn't be expecting that when you go there and you just look out onto the sand. It looks stunning, it looks gorgeous, but you wouldn't believe what I saw when I went there. There's all these beautiful clownfish, Nemo's, great snorkeling there. And also the other position that's really, really cool is up at Turtle Point as well. Both of those areas are super safe, super easy. You can walk there. You don't have to spend a lot of money to experience the sea life and the snorkeling. And one great thing about those two positions as well is it's super safe because there's no real current there. It's not very deep. There's nothing for you to really worry about. You can just hire a snorkel and some fins for a few bucks and head out onto the beach, and you can really, really enjoy yourself. Obviously, I'm going to show you where the different dive venues are so you can book from them. And I'll also show you, the different prices for each of the different dive venues. They're pretty much all about the same. So I'm going to show you the price list. And I'm also going to show you, if you wanted to book a private boat and explore some of the islands, what that might look like, and also what the costs of that's going to be as well. Part of the reason why I'm starting this filming inside and not outside is it's very blowy out there. It's blowing 40 knots at the moment, has for the last few days. The great thing about this island and the fact that it has been really blowy is it's given me a chance to go snorkeling, and there's no current whatsoever, so it's quite protected, particularly on this side of the island. And it's been just super, super easy to go snorkeling. Me, my wife, and my son have had no problems at all. We're no stress about the currents or anything like that. So if it's really blowing at the moment, it's really the worst it's going to get, and it's still nice and easy. You have no hassles whatsoever, particularly if you're not the best swimmer. So let's get on the schooner. Let's go check it out, and I'll show you around. All right, let's go. So I'm going to take you right from my villa out onto the street, jump on my scooter, and we're going to head down into town. So as we come out of my villa, you'll see there's this little path, and there's a second villa right beside us. So they're in sets of two, and there's three sets behind us. So six villas in total. On the right hand side is the little resort that we're attached to. It's called the Trawangan Resort. Really simple name. You'll see the logo as we come out the front. And they've also got some hotel room style rooms to the right hand side. And the staff here have been absolutely amazing. Couldn't fault them at all. They've been so lovely. Every time you walk past, hello sir, how you going? Can I help you with anything? Really, really lovely. So this is their main kind of foyer entrance that you see when you arrive. And we're going to pop out onto the little street here. So it's like a paved road, and there goes past one of the horse-drawn carriages. Here's my little electric scooter. So first tip, electric scooters. Now, I've heard people getting quoted 75 Australian dollars a day, 50 Australian dollars a day. We paid 25 Australian dollars per day to hire the electric scooter. And look, it's expensive for a week. Well, it's so worth it. You know, it just really widens your reach, and you'll see as we take off how convenient it is just having your own electric scooter that can burn into town. You can double on it and have a person on the back, and as for a couple, it's amazing. So we're flying past, heading towards town. On the right hand side, you can sort of start to see the glimpses of the gorgeous, gorgeous ocean. There's a little surfboard hire place there. They also do some little surf lessons. There's a tiny, tiny little break there on the reef, and you can get some lessons in. Look how stunning the water is. So as we start heading into town, we're only a couple of minutes in, as you can see, and on the left-hand side is one of our favorite resorts coming up. And there's a little villa there, and on the left-hand side we've had dinner there. That's an amazing restaurant run by a Sydney chef, and this is one of the first resorts. So this is the Pearl of Trawangan. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous resort. Great place for breakfast as well, and lunch. We've had lunch there a couple of times. And I'm just going to pull over here and just jump up onto the sand and show you what the water is like. So I'm just parking my little scooter, shut it off, take the key so no one pinches it, and we're going to jump up onto the sand and show you what this gorgeous ocean looks like. So I started off this video saying how it was 40 knots. Well, just in the couple of hours I've been hanging out in the villa, the winds have finally started to die off. So as you can see, it's the most gorgeous, gorgeous turquoise blue. And where you can see the water is a little bit darker, that's like a bit of a shelf drop off. So it's not really, really deep, but that's turquoisey blue section you can see is where you can snorkel and swim. And as we turn back towards the Pearl of Trawangan, that's one of the first resorts I would suggest is great for a couple or a family to stay at. Very, very Western. Not sure about the prices of that one. You have to look it up online, but if you're thinking about that resort, it definitely is 10 out of 10 for me in terms of its accommodation, the pools, the food, and the whole package. So we're going to jump back on the scooter and continue back towards town, and we're heading towards the harbour area where the boats drop you off. So just gotta wait for these people to come past, and I'm riding one-handed at the moment with the camera in one hand and the other hand on the accelerator. So one-handed scooting through town is very, very doable. On the left-hand side, there's some of the little bungalows that they have as part of the Pearl of Trawangan. And on the left-hand side, these shops here, there is some hotel-style rooms that sit above. And here's another resort and hotel on the left, and some ATMs as well. So if you need to get cash, you can just pop into the ATMs. They're perfectly safe, and you can get access to your money as you need it. And On the right hand side, they're all restaurants that sit out on the beach. They do at night time like a buffet style grilled seafood. It's like $20 Australian, and it's all you can eat seafood. Such great value for money. On the left hand side is Kala Spa. If you travel to Bali, you'll recognize the Kala Spa, and they charge about $10 for an hour massage. So great value for money to get a massage. On the left hand side, more restaurants and dive shops, I suppose you call it. And we organised a private tour from one of those called Scallywags. On the left, that's the beach house. So if you're looking at the beach house accommodation, that's there on the left. Really, really nice. And this is the Irish bar that I mentioned at the start of the video. So look, we're smack bang in the middle of town. And as you can see, it's all restaurants, cafes, and no one would think that the snorkeling right off the front there is absolutely amazing. And where those boats are that you can see around that area, just below that is the most stunning reef, and clownfish, and super, super gorgeous. So one little tip, if you go for a little walk into town, you can go snorkeling right there and you'll be blown away. So as we continue back towards town, we're getting closer and closer to the heart of town now, right where the harbour is, where the ferry arrives, and you'll start to notice more and more people because it's getting closer and closer into the centre. And on the left, gorgeous restaurants. On the right, all these sort of bars and little venues that set up on the beach. And of an afternoon, you can get a beer or a cocktail. Beers are maybe $2-3, cocktail $5 or $6. On the left hand side is the marts, so like the little 7-Eleven style stores they have over here, the Indo marts they call them. And so you can get all drinks and chips and snacks. And I've popped in there to get some Panadol. My wife got a little bit sick, and also got some adapters for our cameras. For our devices as well. On the left hand side, that's Lolita. That's a really cool Mexican place, and this is one of the famous dive places, Blue Marlin Dive. There's a bottle shop there on the left. There's another big venue there on the left. On the right, it's little markets and shops. There's medical centers all over the place. So if you need to get some medical assistance, there's no shortage of doctors and nurses on the island. And we are now starting to get very, very close to, on the left-hand side, that's the night market where they do all the seafood. And it's really cool. I'll insert a bit of footage from that in the video as well. And on the right-hand side, we're starting to approach the ferry terminal. So you can see all the people there that are standing there a little bit confused with their bags, don't really know what to do. They've just arrived, a little bit shell-shocked, and they're like, where do I go? What do I do? So big tip, as soon as you get off the ferry, there's all the horses there, and they're going to try and rip you off to get a ride to your hotel. So we negotiated for 3 people $15 Australian, or 150,000. We go to hop on the carriage, and they go, oh no, it's double now, it's 300,000, so $30. So we were quite annoyed with that, and we just told them, no thank you very much, we will walk. And we just walked up to our hotel. So if you do decide to walk and don't want to get ripped because you're just this fresh tourist fresh off the boat, don't hesitate to walk. As you can see, it's a beautiful path. There's no problems at all. A couple of 100 meters won't hurt. But likewise, if you negotiate a price, you're welcome to jump on the carts if you choose to. So on the left-hand side is all more cafes and restaurants. And now we're starting to get onto the Turtle Beach side, or Turtle Point side of the island. So once you get past the where the ferry arrives, you start to get onto the Turtle Beach side. Immediately on the left here, that is the gym. So only big gym on the island. If you're craving a workout, there's a fully equipped, awesome gym there. And on the left is some really cool venues, breakfast places that I like to go to. And so we go head down here in the morning. One of them is called Banyan Tree, which is just along this strip, which is great. And what I'm going to do, this place here as well, it's called the Yoga Hotel. So they do yoga and rooms. And here is my banyan tree. So if you love your breakfast and your coffee, you'll feel right at home getting a great coffee there. So I'm going to take you down to Turtle Beach, and I'm just going to pull over here first and just sort of show you the start of Turtle Beach. And this guy here is trying to sell me some lunch. I'm like, I'm okay, mate. It's fine. I'm just shooting a video right now, and I'm going to step out onto the beach. I just want to show you the start of Turtle Beach or Turtle Point. They have a couple of names for it, either Turtle Beach or Turtle Point. And look at the water. It's absolutely stunning. That island you can see out there, that is Gili. So that's right opposite, really, really close. These are all the boats that you can hire for the private tours if you want to go to Gili and Gili Air and you want to go on a snorkeling trip. But I'm going to show you where Turtle Point is. So just up ahead, the end of the beach there is Turtle Point, but you can start snorkeling anywhere from about here right up around the corner. I'm a bit lazy, so I go right up the other end first and I kind of snorkel around. But you can snorkel anywhere from here is amazing. And the good reference point is just being able to see the end of Gili there. So I'm going to jump ahead now. So I've jumped ahead, and we are now at Turtle Point. And this is that end of that beach I was looking towards in the previous part. And what I'm going to do, I thought I'd just come up to here, show you guys what Turtle Point looks like, and then I'm going to film the drive back towards where we just were. Turtle Point is absolutely beautiful. You can literally step straight off the beach, straight into the most amazing reef. And I've snorkeled here quite a few times now. Every time I go, I see turtles, and I'm about to show you some vision of why this area is so popular and so famous. Not only is there turtles, there's heaps of fish, really amazing, and such a cheap, easy place to go snorkeling. So here we go. Here are the turtles that make this area famous. So this morning, literally, I went snorkeling and there was 5 or 6 turtles. This was the day prior when our friend had his GoPro, and we captured some of the footage of the turtles so we can show you in our video. And so majestic, really beautiful to just literally go snorkeling. And there's my son. As you can see, he's having a bit of a play with the turtles, and what a beautiful sight. So now we're back on the scooter, and I want to show you the trip back to the ferry area. So right down at the Turtle Point or Turtle Beach end, as you can see, there is not much down here in terms of restaurants and cafes. So it's kind of right at the end of the road. However, if we were to continue, you can wrap around the whole part of the island. Behind me, if we continue that direction, it starts getting a bit sandy. The track isn't as nice. So I want to head back towards town and show you the drive back to where I stopped on the beach just a moment ago. So I really wanted to show you all of the resorts and restaurants and cafes down this particular end. So if you wanted to stay down this end, there's heaps here. As you said, as you can see, the reef is absolutely beautiful. It's the best snorkeling. I noticed actually here my camera's a bit crooked, so I'm going to straighten it up. So there we go, straightened it up, and we are off and racing again. So down this end, as I was saying, the resorts, the restaurants, the cafes, they're not as thick, but there's still plenty to do down here. It's still great. It's only 5 minutes, probably a kilometer away from the main center. And so if you wanted to stay down here, it's very chill. And also, obviously, if you didn't want to be riding much bikes or hiring scooters or things like that, you can walk to the great snorkeling down this end as well. So certainly some pluses with being down here. And it is a little bit older of a section in comparison to where I started off our tour, where our villa is. It's a little bit more newer down that end, but still quite lovely. As you can see, there's some resorts there on the right hand side, and the same sort of configuration, cafes, restaurants and things, bars on the beach side. And it doesn't really matter where you stay along this main road. You're only steps away from the beach. There's some more hotels, and down this end there's probably more dive places down this end. So obviously, being closer to the reef, and there's heaps of dive locations, and also being the older part of the street, the dive places were the ones that kind of founded and set up Gilli T. So you could imagine they're more prevalent down this end of the island. And there's another big dive place, another famous dive place. There's heaps to choose from. And I mentioned I wanted to tell you about some prices. So it costs about $100 to do the discovery dives. Most of the places charge around the same price, about $100 for the discovery dive. What that gives you is 2 hours in the pool and then 2 hours on the boat out in the water. And if you want to continue on and do your PADI course, which is a 3-day course, it costs around $400. So they're all about the same price. And if you decide after doing the initial discovery dive that you want to continue on and do the 3 days, well, they take the $100 off the 3-day price. So you'll just pay the balance. So it's quite a good setup. Most of the places, as I said, they do the same things on the dive place. Notice they all have their pools at the front because that's where you practice. And but if you're a more experienced, serious diver, you know the drill. You've done it all before, but there's heaps of different places to choose from. If you do decide to stay at a dive resort, it's actually quite cool because they've got accommodation, everything's all there on site. You're bound to make friends. There's heaps of different people there, singles, couples, families, and so you're bound to meet people. There's people there from all over the world, different age groups and things. So you're able to find friends if you're staying at a dive resort. So there is pluses with that. Obviously it's a community as part of the dive sort of culture here on Gili T, likewise with other islands around the world. And now we are starting to get closer and closer back to the middle of town. I thought I'd stop, grab some lunch from this little Mexican place, and got chili con carne, really yummy, about $10, and a couple of bucks for a beer. So that concludes part one of our Gili T tour. Stay tuned, subscribe, hit the bell button so you can be kept up to date with part two when we post. That's coming to you very, very soon. We're going to head up in the opposite direction, head to Sunset Point.